Hey everybody, it's Coin Snobz. I'm Keith.
And I'm Jason.
And I picked up a very interesting little group of rolls from our local auction. And they look very unassuming, but I looked in the pictures and saw that they are classic NF String & Sons. And anybody that's been doing coin roll hunting for any amount of time knows that typically NF String & Sons wrappers harbor a lot of very coveted coins. And I went and I checked it out at a preview because they only had this picture of them. And I went to the preview to preview the lots, and they are all wheat enders. So we're pretty excited about this little group of rolls.
And they all look like they've been bank wrapped too. That's the crazy part. Like they don't look like they've been messed with at all.
Right. They've been machine rolled.
Mm-hmm.
They're too tight to be. I mean, one of these I noticed was a little bit loose, this one right here, but it looks like it's been dropped because you can see there's a little wrinkle right there, but they're way too tight to have been hand rolled. Oh, it's actually a split.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's too tight to have been hand rolled or restuffed. So anyway, so that's what we're looking at this time. I think this is going to be a good little roll hunt. So
yep, this one's going to be awesome. All right, guys, I'll be back with you shortly with the wrap up. Okay, guys, so we just went through our very first rolls. This is what I found. Starting from left to right, we've got the 19 teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. All of these are San Francisco strikes. Every single one of these. And the wrapper has an S on it. So somehow, I guess because of the enders, they knew that there were going to be S's in here, but it turns out most of them are San Francisco strikes. I got one Denver and one Philadelphia. Everything else was San Francisco. And these two over here that are the teens, they're both 1919 San Franciscos. And then Keith got all this.
okay, so on these two rows are my 1950 Denvers, 1950s Denvers, 1950s Plains, Philadelphias. Then I have 40s Denvers, 40 Plains, and I have a 1918 Plain and a 1929 S. So that's our first roll.
Yeah, that's our first roll apiece. All right, we're going to keep going through these. All right, guys, the second roll, for me, these are all going to be 1930s, 40s, and 50s, including this over here. I've got Philadelphia's up top. All of these are Denver's. And then I had two S's. 1940, let's see, what year was that? 47S. And a 54S. Red, brown, decent looking. And then Keith had...
these are my 1950s S's. These are my 1940s S's. These are my 1930s S's. And then we didn't have any 20s, but we had 3 in the teens. I had a 1919, 1919, and 1918. And these two are my 1940s Philadelphias.
Awesome. And then your roll was also marked with an S too,
yes,
wasn't it?
Mine was also marked with an S, and it had an S ender.
Huh, crazy. All right, guys, last roll coming up.
So the last roll, yep, we're gonna split the last roll, so that way there's no S on it. But we're showing on the end, we've got a 1956 Plain and a wheat.
Wheat something. All right, be right back. Okay, guys, so we split the last roll, as Keith said. I have a 1919 Plain. This is a 1930-something Plain. 1940s Plain, 1950s Plain. And then I have 1940s Denver, 1950s Denver, one single 1950, I think it's a 1954, 53 S, and one 1950 Canadian, or 1959, sorry, Canadian penny. Then Keith had...
we'll start over here. This one is burned beyond recognition,
Yep.
So we can't tell what date it is. And then I have my 40s plain, my 40s Denvers, my 50s Denvers, my 50s plain. This is my 50, what year is it? 54S. Nice. And this is the oddball of all of them. I have a 1964 Denver.
But it's in really nice shape, though. It's a good looking coin.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. All right, so now that we got these suckers out of the roll, I am going to go through them with the scope, and then if I find something cool, I will show you guys. I'll probably scope all of the early ones, like the 1919s, 1918s, and stuff like that. I'll show you those guys, but other than that, I mean, if I find a repunch, mid-mark, double dive verse, double dive reverse, or whatever, I will show you guys. But I'll be right back with the wrap-up. Alright guys, in the name of not having a super long video, I figured I would do just one of the rolls under the scope that we have of the 5. And of course just showing the interesting ones. But anyways, we got a 1955 plain. Pretty normal looking 1955 Wheatie. But it does have some lamination on the reverse. So that's kind of cool. Peeling clad layer right there. Well, not clad, but a peeling piece of the, or layer of the planchet right there. This one's not clad, obviously. It's all copper. Okay. And then we had a 1957 Denver. One of the most common wheat cents that you could possibly get. But it's got some die chips over here. The bottom of the B is filled, and then it does have what looks like an I between the B and the E in Liberty. So, another cool little anomaly. Unfortunately, all the other ones were pretty much normal. I think 2 of them had strike doubling, but I'm not going to show you those guys. They're interesting, but they're not that interesting. A little bit of a weak strike up here. Nothing cool. But yeah, so first roll that we go through of the 5. Naturally, this particular roll was all wheat cents. But there was only 2 interesting things. Still alright, though. We'll take it. Don't forget, tomorrow is the cutoff, 12 noon Mountain Standard Time for the 300 Friends giveaway. Make sure you guys leave a comment in that. But otherwise, I will see you guys in a few days. We'll do, I'll go through the rest of these 4 rolls and pick out the goodies, and I'll show you guys those. But until then, love you guys. God bless, and we will see you actually tomorrow for the giveaway. Thank you, guys.